this is Glover Teixeira, UFC light heavyweight champion.
Hi, I'm Robbie Lawler.
What's up, fight family? This is your favorite MMA coach, Thiago Alves, the Pitbull.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Pedro Munoz.
This is Mike Brown.
Guys, I am Alexei Aleniak, and welcome.
And welcome.
And welcome.
And welcome.
And this is We Want Picks.
And you're watching We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks. Hi everybody from American DraftKings.
My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. What a night. Those fights were awesome. I mean, that was one of the most exciting, eventful cards that we've had in a very long time. Even a few of the fights that started slow ended up fast. I mean, that was a great card, a ton of fun. If you've been watching us for a while, you know that I have been on a ridiculous win streak. Last week, my picks were 10-1. I hit all 4 of my bets. And that is, the 6th month in a row where every single card, I didn't lose any money at all in my bets. And that streak continues. No, it doesn't. I took a bath. I probably have to cancel Christmas for my children. For me, last night was a miserable nightmare. And if you guys joined my live stream, which was impromptu, I went against everything I believe in, and I just started hunking down wild-ass chunks of money. I put 5 units on Brendan Allen after the first round. Then I put 5 units to make up for that like an idiot. I doubled down, put 5 units on Jimmy Croot. So I took one of the worst baths I've ever taken in my entire life. I'm still up big if you count the last few months. But this week's big winner is Jacob. Jacob, what a reversal of roles we have here. Jacob, who's usually just throwing things around, having a good time, absolutely crushed his bets. And I will dig into this, but before I do, go to wewantpicks.com/bets. We have 5 different betting partners. Jump into any one of them, make a deposit, let me know, and I will send you $50. I'll send you $50 as a thank you for supporting us and the channel. Let's take a look at Jacob's live bets. So actually, the first 2 aren't live. The first 2, these were bets that we discussed. These were in our betting breakdown. He had Dusko Todorovic, wins inside the distance, decision no action, -170. That hit. I mean, Potolo looked great standing, and then as soon as it hit the ground, worlds of difference. Then he had Chris Curtis plus 3.5 points at +165. So if you don't know what that is, you buy 3.5 points on the judge's scorecard, which is essentially 1 full round. And Jacob's analysis was he thought Brendan Allen was probably going to win, and this was early in the week. He thought Brendan Allen was probably going to win, but Chris Curtis's boxing and striking is so clean, he'll take a round. He'll take a round from Brendan. So he hit that. Then Jose Aldo +103. The next 3 are live bets, and I've got the screenshots here from Twitter. So he's doing it on Twitter. This isn't a big brag moment because if you don't follow him on Twitter, you didn't get to see it. You didn't get to follow along. So this is more just giving Jacob some credit for having an awesome night last night. But you should follow him on Twitter because I run the We Want Picks Twitter. I can't always just retweet everything and be there constantly. So keep up with Jacob, me, and Dan on our personal accounts as well. But he had Jose Aldo. He threw 4 units on that fight. 4 units going into it. I've got the screenshot there at it's actually +106. I put +103 here. 4 units on that. Then he had Fiziev Riddell under 2.5 rounds. He got that at +185. He threw 4 units on that, and that was by the skin of his teeth because it looked like that was going to go to a decision. And then finally, he had Chris Curtis inside the distance, decision no action at +200, and he put 2 units on that. So what that means is if Chris Curtis won by stoppage, which he did, you get paid, and you get paid at +200. If Chris Curtis loses a decision or even goes to a decision, you get your money back. Bet didn't happen. So the only way you lose money on that bet is if Chris Curtis got stopped, which honestly was very possible with Brendan Allen on the ground. But so Jacob more than made up for any losses he had in his other bets. Absolutely crushed. Hopefully a few of you saw it on Twitter, followed along. If not, doesn't matter, right? Great job to Jacob. Everybody else, wewantpicks.com/bets. We have 5 betting partners, 5. Every single one offers something a little unique and different. Bet Online has the plus 3.5. Bet Online has the inside the distance props, the decision no action. So they have some really nice safety net prop bets on MMA. My bookie allows you to cash out. Bovada allows you to cash out. If you're 3 legs into a parlay, you're worried about the 4th, you can literally cash out, and they'll pay you based on what you've gotten so far. BetUS, they have by far the best customer service. You literally get assigned a live agent with a direct phone number. The best customer service, and their odds are out of whack with MMA. They're not really huge on betting UFC, betting MMA, so their odds are wrong a lot of times. So anyway, all of those books have different pros, different cons. Jump in, make a deposit. Let me know. I'll send you $50. The response has been insane. I'm trying to keep up with all of it, but if I owe you money I haven't gotten to you yet, reach back out. I promise I will get you paid. And if I'm looking into one for you, just give me a minute. I'm looking into it. wewantpicks.com/bets. Make a deposit. Let me know. All I need is your account number. I'll verify and I'll get you paid $50. Let's talk about the fights, and then we will see who won our weekly DraftKings giveaway. William Knight versus Alonzo Menefield. This was an interesting fight. It wasn't exactly the fireworks that everybody thought it would be, but there were definitely exciting moments. So here's the thing, man. Alonzo Menefield is clearly the better fighter. Clearly. He had the cleaner striking, the crisper striking. He was the better wrestler. I mean, William Knight took him down, and then immediately Alonzo Menefield reversed that. Then when they were standing up, Alonzo Menefield was able to hold him against the cage. And what I don't like what William Knight does is he turns his head. So how many times did we see Alonzo land a few strikes and then William Knight was turning his head, shying away, looking away from that? It was interesting at best. But William Knight has the most power I've ever seen. First of all, his cardio is insane. Look at the guy. The fact that his cardio is what it is and he looks like that and has that power, that is a story in and of itself. Anyway, Alonzo Menefield, first of all, I think William Knight won this fight. A lot of people were complaining about the decision. I think it was a good decision because William Knight was the one who was live for a knockout. He almost knocked Alonzo out in the first round. The second round is the one that some people were torn on, I guess. But I thought William Knight won that one too with the last, the flurry at the end. And then the third round, Alonzo Menefield won just by leaning on William Knight in the cage. So I think the decision was correct. I think Alonzo Menefield is the better fighter. And if he had a little more volume and output, he would have won that fight. William Knight, damn, does that dude have power? And I'm sure it scares everybody. People are not willing to engage. But I feel like you just got to be in his face to beat him. Be in his face, cover up, be in his face, push the pace, try to take the power away by being as close as possible. And you could take those fights for him. I'm from Connecticut. He's from Connecticut. He's good friends with Nick Newell. So happy for him. I just thought it was going to go a different way. Cheyenne Vlistmas versus Mallory Martin. Listen, I thought Mallory was going to have a more wrestling-heavy game plan. We watched Cheyenne just absolutely get tooled around by Montserrat Ruiz a few months ago with the wrestling. And Mallory, we've seen her have a ton of takedowns in fights. So I thought it was going to be more of that. But it sounds like, they've trained together. For whatever reason, Mallory Martin maybe had 2 takedown attempts, and they were basically above the hip takedown attempt, which is nonsense. Either shoot or don't. But Cheyenne looked awesome. Her hands were fast. Her hands were accurate. I mean, she looked fantastic on her feet. She defended a few takedowns. There was even a headlock situation there that she defended. And if you remember back in that Montserrat Ruiz fight, that's what it was. It was 1 million headlocks. But like we said, the most concerning part about Cheyenne versus Montserrat, which was 2 fights ago, was that she did not make adjustments after the takedowns. So that's why I thought Mallory Martin would just stick to that game plan. But listen, Cheyenne looked amazing. Pretty emotional post-fight. Obviously, she's been going through a lot, and the last name change, the gym change. But she looked great. Good for her. Amazing fight. And I'm looking forward to her in her next couple. Manel Kape versus Algas Zhumagulov. This was another one where I took a stand and I was wrong. So listen, I know exactly how good Manel Kape is. And early in his UFC career, we were all over him. We picked him. And then what did he do? He blew it. He blew it. Had no problem being a step behind. No problem taking his time. No problem trying to have fun instead of trying to win rounds. And he was getting decisions taken away from him because of that. So I thought this was going to be more of the same. He had his first 2 UFC fights were like that. His last fight, yes, he knocked out O'Day, but look at the stats. Watch that fight. It was the same, more of the same. A step behind. Basically gave up the first round and then bang, got that flash knockout. And I thought Zhumagulov, who I understand is not like a world-class fighter, I thought he would be in Manel's face, let Manel fall behind and more of that. But that is not what happened. Manel had nasty leg kicks, which we hadn't seen from him before, and they just absolutely put it on, put Zalgas away. And honestly, that's the better result. We all know how talented Manel is. It was the fact that he would give up rounds that had us concerned. So hopefully he's past that. Hopefully he, now coming off 2 nice stoppage wins in a row, that dude will start to come forward, start to pick up the pace, and then start to not fall behind, make it happen. Great job, Manel. Looking forward to his next couple of fights to see what he looks like. Dusko Todorovic versus Maki Potolo. This was one, Jacob hit a bet on this, right? Jacob had Dusko inside the distance, I believe. And it was an interesting fight because Dusko, well-rounded guy, very well-rounded guy. We always knew how good he was on the ground. He just didn't really use it. He just always wanted to strike, and he would keep his head straight up. And Maki Potolo, tons of power, great striker. The big concern is Dusko going to grapple or strike? And he decided to grapple, and it worked for him because when he was striking, that was not a good look. Maki was on the right side of the striking exchanges, was dominating the striking. Dusko decided to grapple, and it worked out for him. Maki pulled guard, so stupid, trying to jump on that guillotine. Never a good look, especially the way you're dominating the striking. You need to keep it there at all costs. But, good for Dusko. Finally, he was such a prospect, then really hit a skid. And let's see if he's on the upswing again. Grappling is a good sign, right? He was doing what his brain was telling him to do. He was doing what he was supposed to do. He was game planning, thinking about it. Unfortunately for Maki, he's probably going to get cut. He's lost 5 of his last 6 now. So he's probably going to get cut, but it sucks, man, because his striking is so good. Chris Curtis versus Brendan Allen. Jacob made an absolute fortune on this. He was all over Chris Curtis. He had Chris Curtis inside the distance decision, no action, because he knew about the power. He had Chris Curtis plus 3.5 because he thought he could steal a round if it went to a decision. And basically, Chris Curtis just took Brendan Allen's head off. But that first round, Brendan Allen I thought, first of all, he picked up Chris Curtis and dumped him. And I'm like, oh, nice. Brendan Allen's going to grapple here. Chris Curtis, true veteran, scrambled, works his way back to his feet. And now all of a sudden they're striking. Brendan's striking looked good. He looked like he was going to be okay with a couple of those exchanges, but he kept coming in with those forward elbows, which was so stupid. So stupid. Coming in with those forward elbows. I still put money on Brendan Allen in the live betting, which I'm an idiot. My kids don't have a Christmas this year because of it. But Chris Curtis stayed composed, and damn, does that dude have some power. Jacob made a fortune betting on Chris Curtis in this fight. Chris Curtis at this point is the real deal. We watched him get taken down. He popped right back up. He's now knocked out 2 good prospects in a row where he was a heavy, heavy underdog. At this point, I don't know when his streak is going to die because he is live. He looks good. He's riding it. I hope the UFC doesn't just give him a straight wrestler. I hope the UFC gives him a striker or another hybrid fighter like we had with Brendan Allen because I want the streak to continue. Dude's a welterweight. Took a fight against Phil Hawes on short notice, had it canceled, stayed at middleweight anyway, and now look at the guy. So good for him. What a storied career. He jumped into our comment section to say, you believe in me now? I do, for sure. Jacob believed in you the whole time. I was the skeptical one. So either way, man, congratulations. What an awesome fight. Good for you. And what's the most impressive thing? Obviously, the power's there. We knew how good his striking was. To me, the most impressive thing is for him to be behind and not care. Because he lost that first round, right? And he just came out second round. Didn't matter. Game plan didn't change. Kept coming forward. Kept throwing those strikes. Didn't matter. Didn't change. What a fight. Great job, Chris Curtis. Clay Guida versus Leonardo Santos. That was an amazing fight. What an amazing fight. So what was the breakdown? That Leonardo Santos has the better jiu-jitsu, the more technical striking, but Clay Guida is an animal. And if his feet aren't in the same place for more than 2 seconds, he can really wear people down and drag them into deep water and make it a problem. And that's basically exactly what happened. Leonardo Santos absolutely drilled and dropped Clay Guida. I thought he broke Clay Guida's ribs or sternum because he just doubled over, took an absolute beating from there. If the referee stopped it, nobody would have complained. Literally nobody. And then Clay Guida rises from the dead. We now have Leonardo Santos, who has struggled with cardio, is exhausted as hell. And Clay Guida just puts a beating on him and submits the 7-time world champion jiu-jitsu guy. What a fight. That was incredible. Jacob actually had a bet on this one, but he didn't tweet it. He just texted it. So, I didn't put it on the screen because, well, that's not fair, right? If it wasn't public, we can't talk about it. But what a freaking fight that was. Clay Guida, this, man, he's in every fight that he's in, meaning he's always live. He's always a dog. His cardio, his energy, all of that stuff makes him just so dangerous. So dangerous. And he wasn't usually, he's not typically a stoppage guy, but when he has that kind of cardio, and what did DC say? When you're exhausted like that, like Leonardo was, it's terrifying to be that tired and not be able to get up. And Clay Guida submitted the dude, looked amazing. I'm really looking forward to see who they match him up with next. The reality is Clay Guida is not going to be vying for a title anytime soon, but damn is he fun. Put him in more of these fights, older vets. Let's just smash him up and see what happens. Jamal Hill versus Jimmy Croot. This is another one that canceled Christmas for my children. I thought Jimmy Croot, I just didn't see a world where Jimmy Croot was going to lose. He has more raw power, or at least he did, or I thought he did, had more raw power, and he has some of the best takedowns and takedown statistics in that division, period. 80% takedown accuracy, averages 2 or 3 takedowns per fight. That is nuts. Like, that is nuts. Even against Anthony Smith, when his leg didn't work, he still got 2 takedowns. So I thought for sure he'd come out here, grapple Jamal Hill, wouldn't be a problem. Jamal Hill, who is a very good striker, very clean, very crisp, very good volume. Jamal Hill wasn't typically stopping people with one punch. Go back to his fights. His TKOs are TKOs, not KOs. But all of a sudden in this fight, he's got some real power. He connected 2 separate times with Jimmy Croot. Just put him out. This was another one. I'm having drinks. I'm in the live stream. I just threw a bunch of money on the live bet, and that was so stupid. It wasn't even a live bet because it was like right before the fight started, but I put a bunch on Jimmy Croot just to try to make up for the losses, which PSA, don't do that. If you're down, cut your losses, move on. The problem is I haven't lost in so long. I was like, nah, I'll be fine. Because every other week I've been fine, but oh no. Took the beating on Jimmy Croot, but great job, Jamal Hill. That was awesome. I'm curious now. We got Jimmy Croot losing 2 in a row, 2 in the first round. One was a fluke. This was not a fluke. Very, very curious to see what happens with him next. And same with Jamal Hill. Looking forward to his next matchup, see what that's like. Rafael Fiziev versus Brad Riddell. What a fight. What a fight. I was on the Fiziev side. I just said he's more technical, more, the aggressor, more versatile in the striking. But Brad Riddell, I thought, had more raw power, and he had the takedowns. He did get a takedown. So there goes Rafael Fiziev's 100% takedown defense in the UFC. But what was impressive is, so Brad Riddell's takedown, it was in the second round, right? So no attempts in the first round, no attempts in most of the second. So I think Fiziev was comfortable that there weren't going to be any takedowns or shots. And Brad Riddell, the timing was spectacular. Got right on the hips, finished that takedown, looked amazing. And Fiziev immediately scrambles, pops back up, and he looked really good. So we know his takedown defense is good. And now we know his get-up game is good too. I mean, we only seen one of one, but his get-up game is solid. So that was an awesome fight, a ton of fun. There were moments where they weren't engaging because obviously I think they both knew how dangerous the other person is, but Fiziev's just constant pressure. He was always just a little cleaner. And you saw that in Brad's eye, that big cut over the eye. And then obviously the stoppage came. Jacob barely by the skin of his teeth got the under 2.5. He threw a bunch of units on that if you checked out the live betting in the Twitter. So that was, spectacular win for Rafael Fiziev and no loss for Brad Riddell. That obviously was technically a loss, but I don't think Brad Riddell's stock went down. I don't think anybody is now like, yeah, Brad Riddell's overrated because I think he looked amazing. He just lost to literally the best, most technical striker in that division. So very, very curious to see what happens next for Rafael Fiziev. His last fight, he gassed big time third round. This fight, it didn't get to the third round, but no gassing. So I'm just really looking forward to see what this guy looks like. who they match him up with next, because he could be the real deal. That takedown defense holds up. The hands that he has, this dude can do very, very real stuff. And we've seen a lot of interesting fights on this card, opening up for a lot of nice matchups. Jose Aldo versus Rob Font. Man, this was incredible. Jose Aldo, holy crap. He is like Glover. Jacob all week was saying Glover 2.0. He basically is. Age doesn't matter anymore. He just looks spectacular. Rob Font came out there with what I thought, I think it was his game plan, what I thought would win him the fight. Just pumping the jab, staying in Jose's face. He was winning that first round just in Jose's face, super busy. But Jose, just the power that dude has, just drilled Rob Font, drilled him. And I don't think it won him the round. Maybe it did. I don't think it won him the round, though. But, well, I guess a few judges thought it won him the round. But he absolutely hammered Rob Font with that power. Second round, a little bit more the same. Rob Font comes out super busy. Jose Aldo pounding on him. Rob Font had a really nice takedown in the first round, I believe, which looked great. And like, oh boy, is this going to be the game plan? Stay in his face, keep it ugly, get a takedown, win there. And Jose Aldo just poured it on, man. He got his own takedowns. Rob Font had no answer on the ground. Jose Aldo had the power. We only saw one or two leg kicks, but they were effective. Jose Aldo, man, what a resurrection of his career. I'm so excited to see. I do want to see him run his way up to a title. I absolutely want to see that. Let's run him and Piotr again. He'll beat the crap out of Aljamain Sterling. That's no question. But, Jose Aldo, what an amazing fight. Rob Font, he did what he could, but there are levels to this, and Jose showed what a former world champion. I said it in the breakdown. I think Jose Aldo is the greatest 145-pounder of all time. And now that he's down at 135, he can work his way back to a title. He beats Piotr Jan, and he's the greatest 35-pounder too. What an awesome fight. So much fun. Let's see who won our free DraftKings League. If you don't know, we have a free DraftKings League with free contests every single week. If you're a member of this channel, which means you clicked the little join button under this video, then you can win $50. If you win this contest or any other contest we do, you get $50 from us. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it, members only. Kings 2 Messiah, if you're a member, I owe you $50. You won the contest. And your lineup's interesting because you went 4-2. 2 losses, and you still scored 524 points. And that's just insane. That just tells you everything you need to know about this card. So let's take a look. We have, let's see, your big winners here are Jamal Hill and Manel Kape. Well over 100 points there, which is fantastic. Rafael Fiziev, 71 in that third round stoppage. Rob Font, 77 in a loss, which is solid. You had Puelles by submission over Gruetzemacher for 84, and then Leonardo Santos is your low scorer. And frankly, I'm sure you were riding high the first half of that first round because it looked like he was going to get well over 100 points with the stoppage. So Kingston Messiah, if you're a member, I owe you $50. And it's the join button under this video for anybody else who wants to support the channel or chase those winnings. Let's take a look at a few more. Easy Breeze 99, very, very close. Only 5 points away, and you would have won. Let's see. You had Rob Font as well. You had Fiziev as well. You had Jamal Hill as well. Todorovic at 119, Vlistmas at 86, and Menefield at 38. So your big difference is where he had Manel Kape at 131, you had Todorovic at 119. Very, very close. But another 2-losser. All these lineups look like they're going to have 2 losses. Jimmy Croot, 2.4 points. What a devastation that is, because look at this, man. You had Chris Curtis at 106, Todorovic at 119, and Kape at 131. You had Weeks in the loss against Barberena. Man, 74 in that loss, 4 takedowns. That's impressive. And then Fiziev as well. So, man, anybody, literally anybody other than Jimmy Croot, and you would have won this league. Guys, wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. Let me know. I'll send you $50. If you want to join the DraftKings League and compete every single week, that's wewantpicks.com/DraftKings. Everything is at wewantpicks.com. Thank you so much for the support. Thanks for everything. We have 2 more fight weeks before this year is shut down. So let's go out big. See you guys next week for UFC 269. Big card. See you guys then.